Hi, I'm Meg. Welcome to Plant Fit Meg. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the biggest fitness mistakes I have made on my fitness journey. And I have made many mistakes. And so if I can share them and help you avoid mistakes that I've made in my journey, then this video will have been worthwhile. Remember to give this video a like if you enjoy it and leave me a comment letting me know so that I can make more content like this. With that, let's jump right into the fitness mistakes that I've made. The first mistake I made, and maybe one of the largest mistakes I made, is always wanting to be smaller and thinner and as tiny as possible, and to be taking up less space and be in as tiny a package of a human as possible, and having the scale be at the absolute lowest weight possible. And I am someone who has lost a significant amount of weight, so I think I can speak to both sides of this as someone who was previously obese and who is now at what is considered a more normal weight in terms of BMI. BMI is kind of crappy anyway. That's a whole separate conversation. But anyway, I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s when thin was in and everyone was expected to look a certain way and to be fit and toned and small and petite, and that is what I was going for. I also grew up as a dancer and did gymnastics for a few years. I'm sure that that also had an impact on my desire to be as small as possible. The truth is that there were certain instances in my life as an overweight and obese individual where I was very fit. I taught dance classes, I taught fitness classes, I was fit. I was doing fitness things. I was in the gym. And regardless of your body shape or body size, you can be a fitness person. You can still do those things. So it really doesn't matter whether you are on the larger side of things or the smaller side of things. You can do whatever you want to do in terms of fitness and in terms of getting into it. And I really wish there was less judgment and less stigma for people in bigger bodies to just get their bodies moving, move joyfully, and enjoy, rather than feeling judged and feeling like maybe they don't belong and things like this. And that's something I experienced myself as someone in a larger body. And so wanting to seek to be as tiny as possible at any cost is not worth it. It will not improve your life. It will not improve your quality of life or make you happier. So do the fitness things regardless of your size. I recommend focusing on your health and focusing on building your fitness repertoire, getting stronger, building endurance, getting faster, being more flexible, all these kinds of different markers of progression that you can make regardless of your body size. Another quick comment on this is that the scale does not tell the full story. So you can be at a certain weight and it might be considered overweight or considered a little bit of a high weight, but you can look really fit because you have a lot of muscle on you and you're very strong. And so the scale really doesn't tell the full story. I highly recommend that if you are on a fitness journey, if you're on a fat loss journey specifically and wanting to lose weight and lose fat, definitely pay attention to other markers besides just the scale, because the scale is only one tool and only one piece of the puzzle. Pay attention to your energy level, pay attention to how you're feeling when you're doing your exercises and doing your workouts. Are they getting easier? Are you feeling like you're getting stronger and you can do more and push harder? How does your clothing fit? What are your measurements? All these other kinds of factors. But besides fat loss, getting into fitness does not mean that you need to be wanting to be in a smaller body. Another big mistake I made in the beginning was gymtimidation and kind of giving into that fear of trying something new or doing something different. And there were so many times along my fitness journey where I wanted to try a class or I wanted to do something, and it took me so long to actually do the thing and get into it because I was scared and I was letting that fear stand in my way. I have a whole video about gymtimidation and how to reduce gym anxiety if that's something that you're dealing with. So I will leave that video linked up above and in the description box below if you want to check that out after this one. But the bottom line here is do not let fear stand in your way. If you're way too intimidated and way too scared to start in the gym, start at home. Maybe start with bands or dumbbells, or start with another form of movement that you enjoy. It doesn't have to look like exercise per se. It could be dancing. It could be, going for walks and doing other things that you really, really enjoy and that make you feel good, and that you're getting your body moving and maybe getting your heart rate up or improving your strength. But it doesn't have to be in a gym environment. And then if you do want to be in the gym, ease your way in. Know that everybody belongs there, regardless of size or shape or anything else, experience level, anything. Get in there and try to have fun with it and enjoy the process. Remember that everyone has a day one, everyone has a week one, and eventually, if you keep at it, you'll get more comfortable and you realize, oh, surprise, I've been coming here consistently for 2 months or 3 months and I'm feeling much more at ease. Another really big mistake I made in the beginning was just focusing on cardio. Do not get me wrong, cardio is wonderful. So walking, running, doing the elliptical, treadmill, dance-based fitness classes, aerobic-based fitness classes, all these things, wonderful, lovely, amazing, good, great activities. However, if you're wanting to change your body composition and improve your strength training is where it's at. So this one is kind of dependent on your goals, but for me, as someone who was kind of afraid of lifting weights, or as I was growing up, we were kind of told not to lift too heavy because you're going to get bulky and things like this, as if muscle just grows and sprouts out of nowhere, which it absolutely doesn't, because anyone who has tried to build muscle will tell you how long it takes to actually build muscle. But we have these misconceptions and we just kind of go with them. So I did focus on cardio only for a very long time, and I felt like that was all I could do or all I was really capable of. And then once I actually started strength training and I started in classes where I was a little more comfortable, and then gradually ventured out onto the gym floor and hired trainers and things like this so that I could get more comfortable with the situation, I realized how much I love strength training and I love feeling really strong. It makes me feel so empowered and so badass. And so that might be something that is true for you too. So it's worth giving it a go. It's worth experimenting in the gym and not only focusing on one thing. I think the same is true for if you are someone who loves strength training and you absolutely adore it and that's your jam. Don't be afraid to try other things too. Get your body moving in different ways, just for the fun of it, for the enjoyment. I also didn't really understand that cardio wouldn't sculpt my body and sort of tone my body in the way that you're kind of shown and told, at least back in the day, in magazines and on TV and things like that. And that was definitely another factor in my decision making of choosing cardio and trying to lose weight at the time. So all that to say, it took me way too long. I let fear stand in my way, and I wish I had started sooner. So I highly recommend don't delay, start today. If there's something that you want to try or want to dive into, just give it a go. Just give yourself a chance, and you might love it, you might hate it, but at least you'll have that experience and you'll know. And if it's something that you really love and enjoy, then you have something new to really enrich your life and empower you. Another massive mistake that I have made and that I have seen other people make a lot, and I think it's fairly common, is overdoing it. Thinking that more is better, and just doing way too much, way too soon, having good intentions, being excited, being ready and motivated and good to go, and just doing way too much, and that leading to either burnout or injury and just not being able to do the activity anymore at all, because you've just overdone it to the point that your body just can't anymore. And then you might think, oh, F this, it's too hard. I can't handle this. I'm not going to do this. It's too difficult. It's too hard on my body. And we give up. Slow and steady really does win the race. And gradually implementing habits and, let's say, going to the gym 2 or 3 days a week, and then maybe gradually increasing that to an extra day. Or not having workouts need to look a certain way or need to be perfect, a little more flexible, and that allows for greater consistency over time. Because if you can go for a workout for, let's say, 45 minutes one day rather than, oh, I can't do an hour, so I'm not going to go at all, those times add up. So harness that excitement and that motivation and that readiness to change and readiness to try something new, and ease your way in. Start small, start slow, and gradually ramp up, and allow your body that time to get used to that new movement and get used to what you're doing and let it feel a little more comfortable. Our bodies want to always stay at homeostasis. They always just kind of want to stay where they are and stay where they've been, because that is their comfort zone. That is where they want to be. So as we make changes, the more we can do things that are small steps, gradual, just think of it as climbing a ladder and just taking one rung at a time rather than trying to go multiple at a time. That's typically not going to end very well. So I have learned, and I am continuing to learn, how to not overdo it and how to not think of more as better, and pulling back just that little bit so that you allow yourself to continue to make progress, but allow your body to also rest and recover and be stronger the next time you get back into the gym. I also discussed this in my No Gym for a Year video, where I talk about why I didn't go to the gym for a full year and then how I transitioned back into it and mistakes I made there. So check out that video if you're interested. I'll link it up here and in the description box below as well. Next up is that all or nothing mindset. That black and white thinking that, it's either I go to the gym for my full hour and I do an intense, incredibly difficult, incredibly challenging, crushing myself workout, or I do nothing at all. And I was definitely in that place for a very long time of doing all and then making the mistake I previously discussed of overdoing it, and then that turning into doing nothing, and that remaining for an extended period of time, and not using my gym membership and wasting my money, and then canceling my gym membership, and then eventually going back. And that pattern repeated over many years. I'm really sad to say, but it is a mistake I made, and I am sure it is a mistake that others have also made. And I want to really encourage you to do your best to break out of this all or nothing thinking. Going to the gym for half an hour or 45 minutes is better than nothing. It doesn't need to be, the workout needs to be an hour long or it doesn't count. And that was my mentality in the past, for sure. If it didn't look a certain way, if it wasn't ideal or optimal, then it wasn't good enough. And sometimes good enough is good enough. Don't let perfection be the enemy of good and of consistency and building those habits and routines. So be kind to yourself in this process. Keep going and allow yourself to have crummy workouts sometimes. It's bound to happen. Maybe you didn't sleep well the night before. Maybe you're not feeling your best, but you're well enough to still train. Sometimes your workouts just won't be optimal. And rather than skipping out on it completely and just doing nothing, show up, do the best you can, recognizing that the best you can isn't always the same. It's not always linear and stable. We sometimes have days or phases or time periods in our lives where that's going to be, a little up and down. And so just recognize that that's normal, that's going to happen, and that's okay. Ride that wave, enjoy it, and just do the best you can in the moment on that day, in that time frame. Don't compare yourself to, the previous day or the previous week. when maybe conditions were different and you were feeling better or having a better day. Another mistake I have made that unfortunately I continue to make is being impatient and expecting results too quickly. And in the past, that was weight loss results. And now it's more in terms of strength increases and things like that. As humans, we get very caught up with the outcome and the goal and what we want to achieve. And we want to get there as quickly and efficiently as possible. And sometimes these things, often they just take longer than we think that they will. And it's not to discourage you to say, oh, it's going to take forever and it's going to be a big slog. No, that's not what I'm saying. Recognize the reality of the situation, that it might take a little bit longer than you originally anticipated, because as I previously mentioned, things aren't always linear, things aren't always, ideal conditions. And so when little hiccups happen, little bumps in the road, that can throw things off a little bit. And so things won't be just completely stable and completely the same all the time. And we need to allow ourselves that grace and that ability to have those little blips and little bumps and things that happen, and not getting so frustrated and impatient with ourselves and wanting the result tomorrow or wanting the result next week. We need to put in the time, the energy, the work to get to where we want to go and to reach our goals. And the only way to get there is to be as consistent as possible and to keep going and continue and trust the process and make it as enjoyable as possible. I think this is a big mistake that people make, is they think in embarking on a fitness journey, it's going to be miserable. It's going to be a slog. It's going to be stressful and a lot of work and this and that. And it can be hard work depending on what your goal is and depending on your time frame and all these things. And at the same time, you can make it as enjoyable as possible by choosing activities that you really enjoy, by choosing goals and timelines that are reasonable, that are sustainable, things that will keep it fun and celebrate the wins along the way. I think that's something else that we're very good at giving to other people and doing for others, is celebrating their wins. But when it comes to ourselves, we're not as good at seeing the accomplishments and seeing the achievements and recognizing how far we've come. And so referring back to, what did my workout look like a month ago? What was my training like, a few months ago? And this is where tracking and kind of keeping track of what you're doing and how you're progressing can be really, really helpful, because as you look back on these things, you can recognize, oh, I've made so much progress. I'm so much stronger. This is amazing. I'm actually doing really, really well. And you can give yourself that pat on the back and that encouragement and be your own cheerleader, especially if you don't have a coach or a trainer or someone else to talk to about these things. Be your own cheerleader and do your best to recognize and celebrate those wins, just as you would for anybody else. A friend who has accomplished something or achieved something. Celebrate that win for yourself. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was really helpful to you. If you got anything from it, please give the video a like and leave me a comment below letting me know. I love to continue the conversation in the comment section below, so be sure to leave me your thoughts there. I'd love to hear what mistakes you've made on your fitness journey and how your fitness journey is going and how it's coming along. So share your experiences in the comment section below and we can learn from each other and have a chat there as well. I hope you're having a great day. All the best on your fitness adventures, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!